Okay, the Haunted Hike started in 1997,
Yeah.
and I had had an interest in storytelling for a while.
Yeah.
When I was an undergraduate student in Peterborough, there was a storytelling guild that met in Peterborough. And that was my first introduction to performance storytelling, I guess.
Yeah.
I have always had an interest in um, folklore, mythology, and legend, and fairy tale. And and that was kind of the first time that I had kind of become aware of the fact that there were people who were storytellers, that there were people who kind of did this, that there were festivals about storytelling.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to St. John's, I had been involved a little bit in some spoken word and poetry performance. I had been involved with spoken word and poetry in Peterborough. There was a small group of people who had a little kind of beat poetry group called Immanuel Kant and the Little Engine That Could. And we did some performance there. And then when I came to St. John's, there was a group of maybe about 4 or 5 of us who had a little beat poetry group. So I was doing kind of stage performance, but I hadn't really thought about doing some storytelling. But I became very interested in the idea of doing stories, and became very interested through the Department of Folklore in traditional Newfoundland stories and ghost stories. And in 1997, early in 1997, I had gone on vacation, and I had done archaeology and anthropology in my undergraduate, and there was a St. John's actor, James McAndrew, who I had met. I had met James through In Your Dreams Freud. He had been In Your Dreams Freud in 94, 95.
Okay.
And around 97, he had gone off to study archaeology at University of York in England. And I had been doing some backpacking and whatnot, and I had gone down on the train to York to visit him. And he had said, there's this great thing that happens here in York that starts at the old cathedral and winds its way through, and they tell ghost stories. And I said, oh, okay. I'd heard of ghost tours before, but I'd never been on one.
Yeah.
So off we went, and this man dressed all in black led us through the old medieval city of York and told these amazing ghost stories. And the whole time I thought, this would be perfect in St. John's.
Yeah.
So I came back to Newfoundland and started doing some research on local stories and pulled together enough material to cover about an hour for the downtown core.